done. There's no doubt about it. Tourism has been and continues to be one of the main economic drivers in the country. I suppose in 2011, when we went into government at the time, the picture was a bit different. Certainly there had been a big jolt to the system in terms of tourism, and we weren't in a very good place. So we undertook a series of initiatives, including the abolition of the travel tax, the reduction of the VAT rate, and incentives in relation to marketing Ireland overseas. And they have, by and large, I think everybody would agree, paid off. And it's not only paid off in one particular region of the country, which is important, because when you look at the other main source of foreign and direct investment, and I would view Tourism Ireland, I've often been said it, at conferences and things like that, I would view Tourism Ireland along the same lines as I would view the IDA in terms of bringing foreign and direct investment into the island of Ireland, because that's exactly what an inward visitor is, their foreign and direct investment. But if you look at the manner in which the spread of visitors has been managed to be able to be achieved across the country, it is quite remarkable. And certainly I think the collaboration between Tourism Ireland and Fáilte Ireland, in particular in the development of the brands, Ireland's Ancient East, Dublin, a Breath of Fresh Air, and in my own part of the world, the Wild Atlantic Way, has been a phenomenal success. And there's more to be done, and I think the next phase is to exploit those on a more regional and local basis. And I was very happy the other day to launch the first route off of the Wild Atlantic Way, the Shannon Estuary Way, which is specific to Clare and Limerick, and which we would hope would be able to exploit the fact that the Wild Atlantic Way runs through both counties, and we have, for instance, an example, the Cliffs of Moher and County Clare in itself, bringing in, I think, about 11% of the total inward visitors into the country. So there's no doubt about it that there's a lot of potential at local level that we can do as well to exploit the fact that in excess of 10.5 million people will visit the island of Ireland next year, and the revenue almost 6 billion. So there's massive opportunities, but there are constraints and there are issues that we have to look at as well. And one of the focuses that I have chairing the tourism leadership group within the department, and at this stage as well, I'd like to thank the officials in my department who are primarily based in Killarney, but are also here in Dublin for the work that they do. And one of the areas that we're working on is to make sure that by the end of March 2017 that every single local authority in the country would have a tourism strategy. There's a requirement under the Local Government Act 2014 for local authorities to start looking at tourism now in a much more strategic way than they have done. So we have now issued an invite to local authorities to prepare for the end of March 2017 a tourism strategy, which I would hope to launch collectively, all of them together, where they will, look to seek to put infrastructure, investment, collaboration, marketing and everything else in place within their own local authority areas to grow this industry and to keep in step with the commitments that are in the programme for government, which is that tourism needs to be a balanced and a regional approach. So there has been other very welcome news recently. I think Norwegian Air coming into Cork and Shannon is particularly good in terms of the regional air access. There is more that we need to do there. There's more that we need to do with Knock, with Kerry, and which I would also say with the ports of Cork and Rosslare in terms of incentivising people to come in at a regional basis. We want to make sure that people are spread around because there is a constraint within Dublin. There's no doubt about that. But there's also massive opportunities in Dublin, and Dublin as our capital city has a lot to offer, and certainly is the rock on which a lot of other things is hung. So I, on behalf of the government, want to thank Tourism Ireland. It's an all-island body established, as you all know, under the Good Friday Agreement. So the remit is quite clear in terms of what they have to do and the programme of work that they have to achieve. But I think based on the marketing initiatives that they have, and I've seen it at first handovers in London at the World Travel Market and at Flavours, I have to say that as a government we're very happy with the work that's been done on behalf of the country by Tourism Ireland, and we wish them well for 2017.